Sally Ann Howes is an English actress and singer, who currently holds dual British-American citizenship. Her career on stage, screen and television has spanned over 6 decades. She is best known for the role of Truly Scrumptious in the 1968 musical film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. She was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Lead Actress in a Musical in 1963 for her performance in Brigadoon. Biography. Childhood film career. Howes was born in St John's Wood, London, the daughter of British comedian singer variety star Bobby Howes and actress-singer Patricia Malone. She is the granddaughter of Captain J.A.E. Malone, London theatrical director of musicals, and she had an older brother, Peter Howes, a professional musician and music professor. Her great-grandfather, Joseph Malone, was awarded the Victoria Cross in 1854 during the Crimean War. Her uncle, Pat Malone, was an actor on stage, films and television. Howes moved to the family's country house in Essendon, Hertfordshire for the duration of World War II. She was a show business baby who lived a quiet, orderly childhood where she grew up with a nanny and was surrounded by a variety of pets and her parents' theatrical peers, including actor-writer Jack Halbert and his wife, actress Cicely Courtnide, who had an adjoining house. Her first taste of the stage was school productions, but as she came from a theatrical family, it was inevitable that another family friend, an agent who was visiting the Howes family for dinner, became impressed with her and not long after suggested the young Sally Ann for a role in a movie. 200 young girls had already been screen tested without success, and the producers were desperate to find a talented little girl to play the lead, and they asked her father to please rush in some pictures on the recommendation of the agent. The movie, Thursday's Child, was written by playwright and screenwriter Rodney Ackland, also a close neighbor to the Howes family, and it would become Ackland's directorial debut. Thursday's Child launched her career. A second film, The Halfway House, led to her being put under contract by Michael Balcon of Ealing Studios, and this was followed by many other film roles as a child actress including Dead of Night with Sir Michael Redgrave, Pink String and Sealing Wax, Nicholas Nickleby, My Sister and I and Anna Karenina, with Vivien Leigh. At the age of 18, the Rank Organisation put her under a 7-year contract, and she went on to make the films, Stop Press Girl, The History of Mr. Polly with John Mills, Fools Rush In, and You Mowgli Sonotrop. Musical theatre on the West End and Broadway. Howes had begun taking singing lessons on the recommendation of a visiting teacher friend not only to bring out her natural talents but also an effort to lower her speaking voice which was quite high-pitched. While still in her teens, she made her first musical comedy stage appearance in Fancy Free. In late 1950, she starred in a BBC TV version of Cinderella. That same year, Howes accepted her first professional stage role in the Sandy Wilson musical, Caprice, forcing her to terminate her contract with Rank, with whom she'd been unhappy with the film roles and being on loan out. She was finding gainful employment in television and radio, and she was looking to flex her singing talent, something that both Balcon and Rank had overlooked. Caprice was followed by Bet Your Life with Julie Wilson, Arthur Askey and Brian Reese. She was also simultaneously on the radio with Askey and Reese. In 1953, she starred on the West End in the musical Paint Your Wagon with her father, Bobby Howes. The show ran for 18 months. It was followed by Summer Song, also on the West End, firmly establishing her as a leading musical comedy star. This was followed by her critically acclaimed performance in the stage drama, A Hatful of Rain. In the early to mid-1950s, she also mixed her theatre with television appearances and even modelling, commercials and product endorsements. She became a popular celebrity in England, even appearing as a comic strip character in TV fun serial comics and annuals, as a young, wholesome teacher in the wild American West at a time when Western TV shows were very popular. She appeared on the cover of many magazines, most notably Life, when she was in the United States to take over from Julie Andrews in My Fair Lady on Broadway. In late 1957, Howes was offered the part to enable Andrews to join the cast of the London production. She had turned it down twice before. The first offer had been to join the USA touring company of the musical, and the second time she declined the part was due to her film commitment for Admiral Crichton. With the persistence of Lerner and Lua, however, she accepted the third time, for a year's contract, but at a higher salary than Julie Andrews. She became an instant hit as a very fiery Eliza Doolittle. In January 1958, Howes married Tony-winning composer Richard Adler. The following December, she appeared on television in Adler's musical adaptation of O. Henry's short story, The Gift of the Magi. Adler and Bob Merrill collaborated on a musical version of W. Somerset Maugham's Of Human Bondage so that Howes could play Mildred. She appeared on many TV shows including those of Perry Como, Dinah Shore and Jack Paar in 1962, The Tonight Show, plus appearing in the Bell Telephone Hour, the Kraft Music Hall, the United States Steel Hour. She appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show 4 times. When her one-year contract in My Fair Lady was over, she returned to Britain to tape 6 one-hour variety shows The Sally Ann Howes Show for the British Commercial Television Network. She was also personally requested to sing for 3 U.S. presidents. She became a frequent guest panelist on game shows and was known for her quick, spontaneous answers. She returned to Broadway in 1961 in the short run of Quamina, another Adler musical which was written for her. She starred opposite Terry Carter. The musical centered on an interracial love story and was too controversial in a time when civil rights were hotly contested. The show has not had a Broadway revival since. Coincidentally, her father, Bobby Howes, was also on Broadway that year with a short revival of Finian's Rainbow, and a cast album exists of that show as well. In 1962, she starred in a short revival of the musical Brigadoon at the New York City Opera and received a Tony nomination, the first performer to be nominated for a revival performance. She recreated the role in a private White House performance at the express invitation of President and Mrs. Kennedy. In 1964 she starred on Broadway opposite Robert Alder and Steve Lawrence in the energetic What Makes Sammy Run, which lasted for over 500 performances. She returned to familiar territory on TV in 1966 with Brigadoon opposite Robert Goulet, Peter Falk and some of her Broadway cast. It won 6 Emmy Awards. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. In 1967, she began the long film shoot for what would become a popular children's film, as Truly Scrumptious, the beautiful, aristocratic daughter of a confectionery magnate in the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang did not, however, restart her film career or launch a career for her in episodic television despite several guest starring roles in Mission Impossible, Marcus Welby, M.D., and Brannigan and the Men from Shiloh. Even the pilot Prudence and the Chief, which was a spoof on The King and I, did not get picked up as a TV series. In addition, musicals were now failing at the box office and that avenue was closed to her. As a result, she returned almost exclusively to the musical stage, appearing in only a few more films TV productions. Later theatrical career. In the 1970s, she toured Britain with The King and I and later the USA with The Sound of Music. After her debut with the Los Angeles Civic Light Opera in 1972 with The Sound of Music, she returned to Britain to star in the stage drama, Lover, which was written specifically for her. In the 1970s and 1980s, she began to cross over from standard musicals to operettas. She performed 2 summers with the Kenley Players in Blossom Time and The Great Waltz, and she later added Franz Lear's The Merry Widow and then 2 seasons of Stephen Sondheim's A Little Night Music at the New York City Opera. She also added the role of Gertrude in Hamlet to her repertoire. In the 1980s she twice appeared in BBC TV's long-running Edwardian music hall programme, The Good Old Days, to tremendous acclaim. In 1990, she debuted her one-woman show, From This Moment On, at the Edinburgh Festival and at a benefit for the Long Island AIDS Association at the John Drew Theatre in East Hampton, New York. Her last film was the 1992 miniseries Judith Krutz's Secrets. That marked her 50th year in film. Recent projects include her narrations of Cubby Broccoli, the man behind Bond on 2000-year release of the DVD Diamonds Are Forever, the making of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang the musical, and her appearance in the documentary, After They Were Famous, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Except for occasional lectures, charity functions and some Broadway openings, she is semi-retired, although she still hosts events or performs 2 or 3 times per year. Over the period September 2007 to January 2008, she toured the USA in the Cameron Mackintosh production of My Fair Lady, appearing as Mrs. Higgins. When she is not performing, she is an artistic advisor for the Palm Beach Theatre Guild, a non-profit organization dedicated to preserving the Royal Poinciana Playhouse in Palm Beach, Florida. Personal life House adopted Richard Adler's 2 sons, Andrew and Christopher. She has been married to Douglas Ray since the early 1970s. Performances. Filmography Thursday's Child Fennis Wilson, The Halfway House Joanna French, Dead of Night Sally O'Hara, Pink String and Sealing Wax Peggy Sutton, Nicholas Nickleby Kate Nickleby, Anna Karenina Kitty Shubatsky, My Sister and I Robina Adams, Fool's Rush in Pamela Dixon, The History of Mr. Polly Christabel, Stop Press Girl Jennifer Peters, Honeymoon Deferred Catherine Ferry, The Admirable Crichton also known as Paradise Lagoon Lady Mary, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Truly Scrumptious, Death Ship Margaret Marshall, Broadway, The Golden Age, by the Legends Who Were There. Theatre Caprice, stage debut in Glasgow, written by Sandy Wilson, Bet Your Life, at the London Hippodrome, with Julie Wilson, Arthur Askey and Brian Rees, 1952, Paint Your Wagon at Her Majesty's Theatre, Haymarket with further Bobby House. Production ran for 477 performances over 18 months starting February 1953. Babes in the Wood, British pantomime, Golders Green Hippodrome, with Arthur Askey, Holiday Season 1954, Romance in Candlelight, at Piccadilly, 1955-53 performances, Summer Song, Prince's Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue, W.C. 148 performances, directed by Charles Hickman, opened February 1956. Premiered at the Opera House, Manchester on December 21, 1955 before moving to the Prince's Theatre on London's West End. A Hatful of Rain, Prince's Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue, W.C. 2, directed by Sam Wanamaker, 1956, My Fair Lady, Mark Ellinger Theatre, Broadway, took over for Julie Andrews in February 1958 for 1 year. Quamina 54th St. Theatre, 32 shows, October 23 – 18 November 1961, Brigadoon, at New York City Center Light Opera Company, 1962, Brigadoon, at New York City Center Light Opera Company, January 28 – 10 February 1963, Brigadoon, Carter Barron Amphitheatre, Washington, D.C. 24 June 30, 1963, What Makes Sammy Run? 54th St. Theatre, 540 performances, February 24, 1964 – June 12, 1965, My Fair Lady Melody Top Theatre, Chicago, July 1964, My Fair Lady Melody Top Theatre, Chicago, July 1965, Camelot, St. Louis Municipal Opera, Summer 1969, My Fair Lady, Candy Players, Florida Theatre, December 23, 1969 – January 4, 1970, Blossom Time, Morris Mechanic Theatre, Baltimore. Also starred Elle Wrightson and Lois Hunt, 1970, Blossom Time, Candy Players, Memorial Hall in Dayton, Ohio August 1970. The Sound of Music, Candy Players, 1970 or 1971, The Great Waltz, Candy Players, Packard Music Hall, Warren, Ohio, August 1971, The Sound of Music, The Los Angeles Civic Light Opera, 1972, The Sound of Music, San Francisco Light Opera Association, 1972, Lover, with Jeremy Hawke, Darren Nesbitt and Max Wall, Theatre Royal, Brighton, week of 11 February 17, 1973, Thriller, The King and I, British tour. Also starred Peter Wingard, 1973. Man and Superman, with Dennis Quilley, 1973, The King and I, The Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, with Ricardo Montalban, April 1974. I Do. I Do. Cherry County Playhouse, Traverse City, Michigan. August 18, 1976, Goodbye Charlie, 1976. Robert and Elizabeth, Yvonne Arnaud Theatre in Guildford, also starred Jeremy Brett, December 22, 1976–January 29, 1977. Robert and Elizabeth, O'Keefe Centre, Toronto, March 1977, Hans Andersen, with Tommy Steele. 10-week run at the London Palladium, December 17, 1977–February 28, 1978. The Sound of Music, 1978 USA Touring Company, Hamlet, New Shakespeare Company, Gardner Centre Theatre, Brighton. Open May 9, 1983. The Merry Widow, with Barry Clark, 1986, Noël Coward Semi-Monde, Royalty Theatre, London, September 13, 1989. A Little Night Music, New York City Opera, Lincoln Center, November 7, 1990, From This Moment On, One Woman Show, 1990. A Little Night Music, New York City Opera, Lincoln Center, 1992, Cinderella, New York City Opera, Lincoln Center, 9 Euro November 21, 1993, Cinderella, New York City Opera, Lincoln Center, November 15, 1995, with Jane Powell and Gene Stapleton, Where's Charlie? 13 Euro August 16, 1998, James Joyce's The Dead World premiere, December 14, 1999–April 16, 2000, Dear World, November 16, 10 December 2000, My Fair Lady, USA Touring Company, September 12, 2007–January 20, 2008. Television films, miniseries, series, musicals and specials. Early TV appearances included a guest appearance in Café Continental with her father when they faced the camera together for the first time. Other appearances included Kaleidoscope, and her own Sunday night series called Short and Sweet with Harry Jacobson at the piano. She appeared in the 1951 Festival of Musical Production, which was written for her and entitled The Golden Year. Cinderella, December 26, 1950, Hallmark Hall of Fame playing Della Young in episode, The Gift of the Magi December 9, 1958, The Sally Ann Howes Show 1960, The Fifth Column, Jane Eyre, Play of the Week in episode, After Hours 1961 with Christopher Plummer, Play of the Week in episode, The Old Foolishness March 6, 1961, The Sally Ann Howes Special, a General Motors Special, a CBS special for the opening of Lincoln Center, September 23, 1962, Brigadoon, Prudence and the Chief, The Hound of the Baskervilles, Female Artillery, The Good Old Days BBC TV, 2 appearances in the 1980s, great performances playing herself in An Evening with Alan J. Lerner, October 23 and 24 November 1989, Judith Krutz's Secrets, after they were famous playing herself in episode, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang December 24, 2004. Television guest appearances. Café Continental Variety Show 1947–1953. Appeared with her father as a guest star. Saturday Spectacular / Startime variety show broadcast from Prince of Wales Theatre, 1950s. Have You a Camera? Playing herself with royal photographer, Baron, mid-1950s. Toast of the Town playing herself February 9, 1958, June 21, 1964, November 28, 1965, February 12, 1967, Sunday Night at the London Palladium March 1959, The Perry Como Show May 17, 1958, November 15, 1958, June 3, 1959, The Bell Telephone Hour in episode, A Night of Music October 9, 1959, Holiday in Music September 30, 1960, Music Hath Charms January 20, 1961, A Measure of Music January 19, 1962, Dinah Shore Show Herself. May 8, 1960, The United States Steel Hour in episode, The Leonardi Code May 17, 1961, To Tell the Truth various appearances 1962–65, daytime and nighttime versions, Password various appearances 1962–1965, daytime version, The Match Game various appearances 1963–64, Daytime version, I've Got a Secret playing guest panelist June 24, 1963, The Merv Griffin Show 1963 or 1964, You Don't Say. 1963, 1964 or 1965, The Price is Right guest star 1963 or 1964, The Miss USA pageant June 4, 1965, The Miss Universe beauty pageant July 24, 1965. Fanfare playing herself August 28, 1965. Bob Hope presents the Chrysler Theatre playing Alison Lang in episode, The Enemy on the Beach January 5, 1966. Run for Your Life playing Rena in episode, The Savage Machines May 2, 1966. The Dean Martin Show playing herself April 6, 1967. Everybody's Talking playing guest panelist 22 May 26, 1967. What's My Line? Playing, various appearances 1968-70, daytime version, The Hollywood Palace playing herself April 5, 1969, This Is Tom Jones playing herself May 22, 1969, Mission, Impossible playing Beth in episode, Fool's Gold October 26, 1969, It Takes Two guest panelist May 25, 1970, The Hollywood Squares guest panelist 23 November 27, 1970, Bracken's World playing Isabel Blue in episode, Miss Isabel Blue December 25, 1970, The Virginian playing Martha Clayton in episode, Tate, Ramrod February 24, 1971. The Virginia Graham Show guest appearance approximately 1971, Marcus Welby, MD in episode, The Day After Forever February 27, 1973, The Rosie O'Donnell Show playing herself October 19, 1998, Theatre Talk regarding James Joyce's The Dead January 20, 2000. Radio In the late 1940s and early 1950s, she appeared on many radio programs including, Ignorance is Bliss, Geraldo's Open House, Taxi with Jerry Verno, Desert Island Discs, Talk Yourself Out of This, and she appeared twice on the Calling All Forces show. Arthur's and radio variety program with Arthur Askey and Brian Reese, June 1952, Marl Becker's Out FM show, heard on WBAI-FM from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. October 1, 2000. Other live performances Royal Variety Performance, at the Victoria Palace Theatre, October 29, 1951, London Palladium Midnight Cavalcade 1954 A gala night of world-famous stars in aid of the Actors' Orphanage, the charitable funds of the Grand Order of Water Rats and the JNF Charitable Trust, Thursday 18 March 1954, London Palladium Night of 100 Stars A Midnight Review in aid of the Actors' Orphanage, Thursday 23 June 1955, Grand Opening of the Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, September 21, 1971, Golden Gala London. Palladium, a musical spectacular from the London Palladium to mark the 50th anniversary of equal voting rights for women. Princess Margaret was the guest of honor. July 2, 1978, Cinderella's Star Night Charity Gala at the Prince Edward Theatre, January 31, 1982. A Royal Night of 100 Stars one-night performance at the NT Olivier Theatre, in aid of the Save the Children Fund. March 17, 1985, memorial service for Alan J. Lerner, was a speaker-singer at St. Paul's Church, Covent Garden, September 1, 1986, a celebration of Shakespeare OE Hamnet travesti Action Against AIDS, at the Sadler's Wells Theatre, How Sang So in Love from Kiss Me Kate April 12, 1987, An Evening with Alan J. Lerner Theatre Royal, Drury Lane June 7, 1987, An Evening with Alan J. Lerner Opera House, Manchester, March 27, 1988, Being Alive, a celebration of the genius of Stephen Sondheim, at the Drury Lane Theatre, on June 4, 1989, 7 p.m., a Euro unregistered trademark a All-Star celebration of Noel Coward Cole Porter a one-night event at Barbican Centre Concert Hall, October 19, 1989, Kids at Heart at the London Palladium, a fundraising evening for medical aid for Free Romania January 20, 1991, A Glamorous Night with Evelyn Leigh and Friends one-night gala at the London Palladium, Sunday 26 July 1992, A Time to Start Living, a celebration of the great Elizabeth Welch. Shaftesbury Lyric Theatre, a World AIDA Euro unregistered trademark Day Gala, a fundraising event for Crusade, December 6, 1992. Jack in Review Charity Gala concert in tribute to Jack Tinker, the theatre critic with the Daily Mail newspaper. London Palladium, London. Friday 28 February 1997, 2:30 p.m. How sang Alice Blue Gown? Cabaret at the Algonquin Hotel's Oak Room in New York City, late 1990s. The cabaret may have been the inspiration for her album Mary Lee, songs my sister loved and sang. A Cultural Affair New York Pops Gala. A Cultural Affair honors New York City Commissioners of Cultural Affairs Skylar Chapin, May 15, 2000. Broadway honors BMI composer Lehman Engel, Merkin Concert Hall, hosted by Sally Ann Howes. April 2, 2001, the 12th Annual New York Cabaret Convention. A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. October 24, 2001, was booked for but cancelled due to the events of 9/11. Lansing Town Hall Celebrity Lecture Series, guest lecturer in the Best of Broadway. Lansing, Michigan, Monday 20 May 2002, Age Cannot Wither. Rosemary Harris, Sally Ann Howes and Haley Mills appeared in a benefit for Shakespeare Globe Center USA called Coward X2, presented at University Club, 1 West 54th Street, in New York City. March 17, 2003, Town Hall Celebrity Lecture Series, 11:30 a.m., Michigan League Ballroom, guest lecturer in the Best of Broadway. Wednesday 15 October 2003, Port Huron Town Hall, guest lecturer in the Best of Broadway. Monday 8 December 2003, the 16th Annual New York Cabaret Convention, Mabel Mercer Foundation. Music from the movies. October 20, 2005, 23rd Annual STAGE event, Side by Side by Side by Side by Sondheim, 10th and 11th March 2007, Wilshire Theatre, Los Angeles. Discography. She has several Broadway, West End, TV and film cast albums available, including Bet Your Life, Paint Your Wagon, Romancing Candlelight, original 78, recorded October 15, 1955 in London. Summer Song, Gift of the Magi, Kwamina, What Makes Sammy Run. Brigadoon, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Hans Andersen. One Remember Mama, Great Expectations. She can also be found on the albums The Best of the Telephone Hour, Cole Porter, A Remembrance, An Evening with Alan J. Lerner, and the 3 Christmas songs she recorded, Toyland, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, and O Little Town of Bethlehem, can be found reissued each year on various compilation Christmas albums. The last known recording she made was a gift album for a party for a friend, called Mary Lee, songs my sister loved and sang, for which she holds the production rights and copyright. Product endorsements and modeling. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, Sally Ann Howes lent her face to many products, a few of which are mentioned here. Blend Right Hair Clips, Britvic Gold Pure Juice Cocktail. The ad includes a photo of Sally Ann Howes and mentions she starred in the new Jack Hilton musical Paint Your Wagon. She did some modeling in the 1950s and early 1960s, and can be found in the following publications: Weldon's Knitting Booklet No. 319. The ad includes a photo of Sally Ann Howes modeling a jersey and mentions she starred in the new Jack Hilton musical Paint Your Wagon. TV Guide. Sally Ann Howes with Fall Fashions. Further reading, the following publications feature portions about her career and life. For magazine articles and covers, see her biography on the Internet Movie Database, Sally Ann Howes at the Internet Movie Database. Adler, Richard, You Gotta Have Heart. McGovern, Dennis. Weiner, Deborah Grace, Sing Out Louise. Shermer Books. Kleiner, Dick, ESP and the Stars, Grosset and Dunlap. References. External links: Sally Ann Howes, Save the Royal Poinciana Theatre, PB Theatre Guild, Royal Poinciana Playhouse Video Promo, Sally Ann Howes at the Internet Movie Database, Sally Ann Howes at the Internet Broadway Database, Tomasini, Anthony, A Cinderella That Fills a Larger Space, New York Times.